to episode 2 of season 2 of Inside. I'm Dom Hubbard. I'm joined by JK and Scenario Nil, and tonight we're joined by the man who does this.
Rob Cook, full of adventure, full of running, full of running. Rob Cook storming his way upfield.
Hello, of course, we're joined by Mr. Rob Cook. How are you this evening, Rob?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
All good, all good. I see Neil sporting his new Movember, but like yourself, Rob. I see JK's not really committed by having that shady little beard on his chin.
I think this is by accident, if I'm honest. I normally I used to do it, but I haven't really done it the last few years. But it's just laziness, I think, more than anything at the moment.
Well, Dom shaved his moustache on the 1st of November, but it was like 10 years ago. He's still waiting.
I've been going on for 23 years. Yeah, for a long time. So what's Bound 2.0 looking for you like at the moment then, Rob? What you've been up to?
To be fair, nothing's really changed. I work a lot in schools coaching, and they're just kind of, in a way, just cracking on as normal, which I know sounds a bit bizarre, but I'm in pretty much coaching every day at the moment. So it's nothing's really changed from my end. But I know, like, you kind of just drive into schools and stuff. It seems pretty kind of normal to what it was. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep kids engaged at the local rugby club. That's the only thing that's changed my end, is local rugby club just being locked down. So doing videos for those kids and sending out to a few other rugby clubs. But other than that, it's nothing. I'm still as busy as I've been since lockdown kind of stopped.
Good to hear.
Do you think that COVID will? Sorry, Dom. Just a quick question.
That's twice
do you think
already
COVID
tonight.
will have a lasting impact on kids taking the sport up and things like that? Do you think it's going to affect them? The uptake.
I think we're going to have to wait and see. Certainly, from some of the schools I've coached in, we've actually got more kids playing than normal, which is one, maybe potentially a little bit surprising, but kind of we've done very little contact, so and we've played a lot of games, and they do enjoy that, and the bit of peer pressure to say come down. It's not like it's kind of full on or anything like that. It's different, but like then you go to the kind of the club side, and numbers are kind of the same. But you don't really know. It's hard. I thought there was always going to be there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but it seems to be getting further and further away at the moment.
You think it's because the kids just don't want to be around their parents anymore? They've been around.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pressure's off as a coach and the club and stuff like that. It's not. Obviously, there's no game, so there's no like winning and losing's out of the question. It's more like kind of keeping the kids engaged and not just kids, but players engaged all the time. So. Trying to work hard at doing that. I mean, just for example, we're doing seniors versus Colts, a 1,000k run, adding it all up together at the moment.
Wow.
Other end of the spectrum, then, do you see? Obviously, you said about the Colts versus the seniors. Do you see the seniors is going to have a massive effect? Obviously, we're seeing a lot within our own sevens team, and even in our own rugby team, the seniors are kind of disengaged and they're off doing other things. Got to play football.
Part of me is, I do. I mean, there's other things. Like there's obviously family life as well, and I think that's massively important. And sometimes a lot of lads don't play because they've got to commit to their families. And I've deliberately not put a lot of pressure on the boys to come to training, but I've said, like, just come once a week, and that seems to have worked. And probably getting 20, 30 boys coming to training at least once a week is how it bit. I think if we went twice a week, it'd be like, well, what else can we do?
I suppose when we went back to training, it was always sort of like, we're building up to something, but the reality is we don't know when the season's going to restart. We had these unrealistic dates sort of dangled in front of us, but everyone sort of subconsciously knew that was never going to happen. So Yeah,
this season's a write-off. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It already is. They've already said there's no league.
Officially, yeah.
I mean, I think they have to be careful a little bit with what they said there, because I certainly speak to, the rugby's over this year. Well, it's not. It's still, we can. I mean, I know that they're planning on doing or bringing out this version of the game, which I think is good. You know, we need a bit of competitiveness, but you know, like people are like, no, it's over. It's not. We can still do things, and maybe even get like, you know, the local clubs working together and getting something, you know, their own, like, you know, it might be COVID tournament or something, you know, name it after something. I think they used to do it in the past, and there's certainly something around where I coach at Malvern, like the Templar Cup or something like that, you know, where local clubs used to come together and have their own tournaments. So it's about, I think it's an opportunity for local clubs to really work together.
I think it might be good. It might sort of, you know, if it's only a bit of a laugh tournament, it might inject a bit more sort of enjoyment back into the game potentially. You know, rather than thinking, oh, you know, we've got to put out a performance this week for the league or whatever. So I think people bring back.
I think calling the leagues off has been the right choice. Because I would have been happy saying, starting from Christmas or January, going, oh yeah, it's you're going to play each other once and you're going to get relegated or promoted.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't have been happy with that.
No. Do you think, obviously, summer rugby in the sevens side of things is kind of a good way to go about it on getting everyone back playing? Obviously, it's a bit more social, it's a bit less having it, but also at the same time, less players on the pitch means a lot less.
Yeah, I think you know, certainly with kind of what I'd like, kind of being a director of rugby at a local, what I found is you can't please everyone, and I think this new version of the game and even touch is not pleased everyone. You know, there's the beauty of our sport is played by players of all shapes and sizes, paces, ages. You know, so and people enjoy the contact, and we've not had the contact, so. You're not.
The fat boys can't do scrums. If the fat boys aren't going to do scrums,
I mean, sides are built.
They live for the scrums, they live for the rules, and they're not going to get that, and that's just not a good enough game for them. That's 8 players that are going to be pissed.
Yeah. So it's you know, it's obviously how do you keep those guys engaged when they just like a cuddle, you know? So
fat boys,
that's where it goes. I mean, I've heard of clubs going, oh, we're going to sign up to be rugby league clubs just so they can have some contact, which it's fair enough, but you are running the risk of losing players to go and play rugby league. So it's tough, but if we can get something, and you know, and we can put position limits on and so on, but at the end of the day, I don't care about. I just want to, you know, some competitive games where they can enjoy themselves and get the club going as a whole more than anything, whether it's from under 6s to first team. Let's just play some games in a safe environment. So it's
totally agree. Just touched on your career. Do you want a quick run through for those of the viewers who don't know?
Who, me?
Sorry to interrupt.
Again,
can I stop you there? My signal is absolutely. Let me just take my Wi-Fi.
Honestly, now.
Right, 2 seconds. I'm having a nightmare here. It literally every other word is waking up. I'm sorry, Dom. You'll have to use your really slick editing skills on this. I do apologise.
You know what the worst thing is? Last week was one of the best ones we'd had. No issues, no hiccups, and then Neil comes along and fucks it up. The technological visit. Oh, wait.
Yeah, if you're staying in hotels to see a mistress, Neil.
Worst thing is provided by his mum.
Did he tell you about that the other day?
I'm not seeing this.
So he took a bird back to the Premier Inn, and because of COVID, they had to give their names in at the desk. And his mum got an email with obviously Neil's name, and this bird he brought back.
Wow!
My mum booked the hotel, sent her an invoice.
What did your mum say?
That was an awkward conversation. Right, sorry, Dom. Go. What are you saying?
Topic. Yeah, sorry about that, Rob. Right. Come back to your career after Neil's little conundrum. Do you want to give us a quick run through how it came about, where it all started?
Well, I think like kind of professional career started a bit different to a lot of other players. I think I was 24, 25 when I signed for the Pirates. Like I'd got picked up by Harvey Biljon, who had just been named coach at Pirates, but he was my coach at England counties. So I'd had a good couple of seasons at Nuneaton, which I left went to after uni, and then he took me down to Pirates, and those Pirates was awesome. You know, probably one of the best environments. Great club, and it was they were really pushing for getting that stadium going, and trying to get into the Premiership, which I still think is going now. Which is, I mean, I heard it was 10 years before I went there. It was planning, and it's still going now. So, but what a club, what a team, what a squad, the coaches, everyone, all the people around in Penzance and Cornwall. I loved it, absolutely amazing, and gave me a great opportunity. I always wanted to play professional sport, whether it was rugby, cricket, football, and kind of rugby was the last choice, and I got that opportunity, and it was
nice.
It was awesome.
Did you find yourself times where
when you were at Forest,
you couldn't understand a word they were saying?
Well, down in no, they weren't. I mean, a few of them have never left the county, but no, it's honestly, like, in the winter it can get pretty bleak. Like some places only open for 6 months of the year, but they make such a killing. It's a awesome place. I do enjoy it, and
a strong brand as well, isn't it?
What you say, Neil?
Yeah, it's a really strong. Sorry, I said it's Cornish Pirates is a really strong brand, and I think you'd love to see a team like that come to the Premiership, no matter how long it takes. But going back to your time there, the first 3 seasons, obviously you were the highest scoring player 3 seasons running when you were at Cornish Pirates, and obviously I imagine that's got some great memories for you. Is there like a game or a certain season that stands out in your mind at that club?
I mean, I think they had a 3-year plan down there. Yeah. I think we peaked a bit too soon. That second season, we were ridiculous. Like we played Worcester 5 times and we lost 4, but we we won 1 and gave them 3 close games, and then I think they smashed us in 1. But it was such a good year. But no, I mean, not as like beating Worcester away was on a Friday night. I mean, Friday night games are always good, but no, we had a lot.
Nice ground to play at.
I mean, becoming actually kicking was obviously I am famous for that. But
we were going to get onto that.
How that happened was a bit. I mean, I was like kind of 4th, 5th choice kicker, and I think, honestly, 5 people had to get injured before me to kick, and 1 got injured before the game. I was playing 15, then ended up playing 10. He got injured, then showed me how I should kick the ball, and then it just went from there. Kind of. It was really windy, and I normally have the ball upright, and I couldn't make the 22 from the 22. He goes, try it like this and put it like that, and it just I kick it 10, 20 meters further. So and it just went from there.
And touching on the kicking, I mean, we can't go away from it without mentioning where did that stance come from?
I'd always been a bit like Johnny, kind of when I was at uni. And then, to be honest, it just happened. I just ended up starting practicing a lot more and just getting back into my stance and just fit. It felt comfy, well-ish.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you've got to be comfortable. Otherwise, it's going to be a harder kick, isn't it?
I mean, in the championship, it was fine. I didn't really get that much stick.
Yeah. Until you went to Gloucester.
Yeah, and then Gloucester I started getting a bit, but I mean that's with the crowds and stuff. But I mean it wasn't broke, so I didn't need to fix it.
Sure.
And I always had a running thing with Johnny Bentley at Pirates that I had to miss 3 kicks in a row for him to kick. He was always after me, and I always ended up like, if I'd missed 2, then I'd get one in front of the post, so it wouldn't have been too bad. But
do you think because of Johnny, and obviously with his different take on kicking, it kind of opened the roads for other people to kind of get more comfortable? Because obviously there was always a standard way of doing it, and then Johnny comes along with his different take, and then you've now got Bigger, who has his different way of doing it. Obviously yourself. Do you think you can pave the way to go get comfortable, do whatever you need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I coached a lot of kicking now, and I always say that you're your own person. You know, I can advise you as much as I can, and give you the basics for kicking, but ultimately it's being comfy in yourself, and you've got to find your own technique. If I was honest, I never got coached how to kick. It was only when I went to Gloucester and did a little bit of work with, or did quite a bit of work with Tim Taylor, that I started changing my approach to kicking. But I was just like see ball, hit ball, and to be honest with you, the less you think about actually kicking, the better. But it worked for me, and you know, it's maybe it was a bit lucky how it went, but you got to take these opportunities.
Well, I shouldn't think about it all like keep getting told. Yeah.
Pardon?
What was that, Neil? You don't think you should be thinking about it at all?
Definitely. I'm glad you've mentioned Gloucester a couple of times. I don't know if you could tell him
I don't even know where he's coming from.
Fucking hell. Neil, your signal's awful.
Not thank you for mentioning it.
He's still going.
Where is he?
Neil, where are you gone?
Gloucester born and bred, yeah. Why is that?
Still going, he's not stopped. We've not been able to hear you for the last 45 seconds, mate.
Are we back?
No.
I stopped talking ages ago. I can see you.
No, you didn't.
Neil, are you there?
I haven't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we've got you back now.
Oh my God! What? Yeah, I'm there.
This is the
Can
worst.
you hear me now?
Sort of.
What is going on? I am a nightmare.
This
bloody shit. Yeah. Phone's not charging. My internet's gone.
Oh, fucking hell! Right. We'll
You might
put you
have
on
to
mute until you reconnect.
I'm so sorry.
No worries, pal.
Yeah, I'll reconnect. 2 seconds.
It's a good job you've got some good Dom, it's a good job you've got some good editing.
Oh,
skills.
fucking hell, he's back.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, just don't move.
Yeah, but you are so pixelated. Yeah, Neil, it's gone.
Oh, jeez. Right, yeah. Sorry about it. But am I back again? Hello?
It's touch and go, mate.
I'm going to have to stand up.
Dom, kick him off. Get rid.
Take me off, Dom.
Take him off.
We can't be having this level of professionalism.
How do I kick him out? Oh, here we go. There we go.
We can rejoin. Sorry about that, Rob.
That's all right. That's all right.
To be fair, it's
right. Well, there we go.
Oh, that's better.
It's a good job. Dom's got some bloody good editing skills.
Well, we'll see, won't we? It might be shit. Who knows? Right. Where were we? So, yeah, ending up at Gloucester. How did that big move come about?
I mean, Gloucester. Wow, how did that happen? Oh yeah, I mean, I started my 4th season at Pirates, and then I had one of my mates who I actually lived with, Drew Lock. He'd signed for Gloucester that previous season. Wasn't bitter at all, but well, yeah, I wasn't. No, he was a good mate, and then he rang me up actually and said Nigel Davis wants to speak to you, and I was like, all right, yeah, sweet. And then yeah, I was on holiday. He rang me. Had to get through everything, and yeah, it was done deal. Happy, great club. I mean, I walked around the shed. I didn't think the shed was very big until they packed about 10,000 in there, and hear the noise from it, and then you're like, oh my good God. But no, what a club. and had four really good years there. Obviously didn't end how I wanted it to, but it was I loved it there, and some great people, and still speak to some good mates from there now. And you kind of go from Pirates, where you kind of one of the senior players there, and you walk into a change room and you've got James Simpson Daniel in one corner, Tyndall's opposite you, you've got Will James, Andy Hazel. You're like, oh my good God, this is ridiculous. Like, and like Johnny May just walked past you making chicken noises, and it's
sound like it at all.
Standard that. Yeah.
It's
so how was that step up then? Because obviously you mentioned you turned pro slightly later and probably not the most conventional way others did.
Yeah.
You probably would have had some of those lads in that change room had sort of been around the Gloucester scene since they were in secondary school, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I was 28 when I went there, but I mean, all I wanted was an opportunity. That's any advice I say to kids now is just, if you get an opportunity, take it. So, like, for Pirates was an opportunity. They originally offered me a 1-year deal, and I said I wanted to, because I'm giving up a lot to come down there. I lived in Lincoln at the time, so it was a 6-hour drive. Well, I know it's 6 hours away, but it's away from my family. I wanted 2 years, so they said, "Yep, not a problem." Gave me a 2-year contract. I was like, right, I got a chance here. And then you kind of realize, right, I'm happy being there. But then you realize, right, I can do more, and just having that opportunity at Pirates, and then realize, right, I can do this, I can go higher. And then I just, it's a foot in the door. And I always knew that if I played with, ultimately you are in a better environment, better players, and they're not so much better, they're just a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit better, kind of, all round player. But they're not it's not a massive difference, but you've just got more, and the experience of it all. And you learn off so many people. It took me probably a couple of months, 3 months, and then I had to wait for my opportunity. But I was always learning, and I knew that all I wanted was a crack, and if I wasn't good enough, then fair enough. But I knew I wasn't be far off, and I took that opportunity and went with it.
Nice. And then obviously Gloucester, back to Nuneaton, back to your original stomping grounds.
Yeah, I thought I mean, if I'm honest, did I panic a little bit after I got? I mean, Gloucester messed me around a little bit. Like they said, they wanted to sort my contract out. Obviously, you as a player, you're always looking around to go and try and find other clubs. And then I knew it wasn't coming, and they told me 2 days before the end of the season, but I knew it wasn't coming. So it's like, what do I want to? I just had me and my wife had just had a little boy. I didn't really want to be traveling like some players did up and down the country.
Yeah.
We were settled. So I just took my mind to what to do next. I kind of applied for assistant director of sport, got it at King Edward VI School in Stratford, and I was like, it kind of worked playing for Nuneaton, give something a little bit back maybe, which the club was really good to me. But I had a good year. I enjoyed it. We wanted to get promoted. We didn't quite work. But then I just, with a little one, school, it just didn't quite work out. I was, I wasn't seeing my kid at the time, so it was like, something's got to give, and it was the rugby. So then I chose a club a bit closer to home.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're down. I'll say Midlands 2. Obviously, I'm guessing Midlands 1 now.
Yeah, we just went up with maths last year. We went up. So
Midlands 1, Malvern.
Yeah,
so you played at centre, I believe. Playing at centre, isn't it?
Yeah, I played majority of 10 last year. I just catch and pass, but there's a few games where you get targeted, but it's all right. Nothing I'm not used to. So
not you, never.
No. So coming on to go on, JK.
How's it down there? No, you're coaching them as well, or is it just?
So I moved. I said come and coach, but I still want to play. Like, you're a long time not playing, so I did say one bad injury, and then I was finished. But I've since dislocated my wrist and carried on.
Would you
playing.
consider that as a bad injury?
No, it's going to come to a point where, you know, because I'm self-employed, it's like I can't, if I, you know, it's that's going to be, and I think at the moment I don't know how I feel about playing next year or whenever we're back playing, so I'll have to make that call when I feel. But I'm pretty sure I'm quite got a bit of a rubber arm, so if someone says, "Oh, come on, play," I'll be like, "Okay then, yeah." So
we'll always have a game up in the north if you ever want one.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the charity work and playing a few games for like Rugby for Heroes and so on.
Sign him up.
Yeah, so I'm always keen. I'm always keen.
As long as you like the short game as well, we've always got games.
Yeah. So I'm keen, mate. I'm keen. I'll play. You know, I'll play if it's like, you know, I won't say too much.
Mate, we've got it recorded.
Coming on to the
signed deal.
Yeah. So current situation with rugby. Thoughts on how the Premiership ended?
Yeah, happy. I think Exeter were by far the better team. I was a bit disappointed with a few teams that you know, were in good positions before like that. I thought Sale might have really challenged.
Yeah.
They had a slow start and then decided to ruin it by going out on the smash after the final. Rumour has it anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, fair play, Exeter. I think obviously probably everyone will say that lockdown did them favours, and it was that year when they won the double. But fair play, what a club. That's some achievement, that is.
I mean, that's got to be the sort of dream model for like teams like the Pirates and stuff.
Yeah,
that will become
unfortunately, that's where the Pirates lose out to Exeter, because like, you know, Jack Noel, he's from Penzance or Newlyn. You know, he's my sponsor down there owns a pub with him in Penzance. You know, so it's like he's a local boy, but he just get picked up by Exeter because there's, I mean, without going into it, but the Pirates haven't really got that youth set up to keep these players there. And if they're any good, they're going to go to Exeter, aren't they? So, and they're a little bit, I mean, some of the boys we had on loan from Exeter, you know, like Dave Ewers, Sam Hill, just a couple of them. I mean, you know, they were brilliant for us.
Do you think, obviously looking at Bristol, who were in an okay stance pre-lockdown, do you think they kind of benefited from the transfers that they were able to kind of bring on?
Definitely. I mean, Bristol to me is a little bit different to Exeter. I mean, they piled in a load of money.
Massively, yeah.
I mean, but I think Exeter have got it right. And that's why they were quite strong on the Saracens. And, you know, you speak to boys who've gone there, and, you know, they do it right. I mean, there's some great boys, and they stay there. I mean, how, like, they've kept Slade, they've kept, you know, they keep the good players, and they don't want to go. I was listening to Jack Noel the other week, and, you know, he loves it there. You know, that's the club for him, and they've got such a good community there behind the scenes, and that's breeding success, isn't it? So you don't see too many boys leaving there, if I'm honest. Do
you think that's the same? Obviously, you touched on Saracens and on the Exeter debacle that's kind of plagued the Premiership this season. Do you think the Championship's essentially a write-off for any teams on promotion because we just know who it's going to be?
You can't really count Ealing out of it at the moment. They've invested quite heavily.
Yeah,
it depends on what Sarries do. I mean, even their youngsters are going to be good.
Well, they've also kept some of their England boys. Which,
So I mean, they can always.
They're going to need game time because obviously if they've got England internationals coming up, they can't not go into England internationals without game time.
Yeah.
But this, on the flip side, for obviously my thoughts on this, and we've spoken about it last week with Will, was it's going to be dangerous for some of the teams. If you look at the bottom half of the table going up against the Vunipolas and that front row of Saracens, they're going to twist them into certain. They're going to be pretzels by the end of the game.
Yeah.
And to me, that's going to be very dangerous.
I think Yeah, I completely understand. The Championship isn't that bad. It's not. No, it's not that bad. But I know exactly what you're saying. You maybe Mako will come out and prop against the young 19, 20-year-old. That's when yes, I understand that. But I've heard someone saying, "Oh, clearing the dog muck off pitches and stuff." It's not that bad.
Oh no,
it's not. But if you look at,
I was listening to something else, and someone mentioned that, and I actually took offence to it.
Massively.
No, I've been to
I know you're not saying that, but I think there's this interpretation that that Sarries are going to have an easy run. That it's not going to be easy for them. The clubs are going to target them. Yeah. Imagine them like Ampthill. I think I've never played there, but you have to come through a forest to get to the pitch or something.
Yeah, I used to. Well, Ampthill was in my former junior league when I was a kid, and you had to walk through the forest. Fantastic ground, but like I say, it's going to be these Championship teams. Going to be one of their games of the season, so they're going to
get bumper crowds in, regardless who's playing for them, to try and do it. And I think that I don't think they'll win every game. I don't think they will. I think Championship now is top team goes up, isn't it?
Yes.
There's no playoff or anything like that anymore.
No.
When I was in it, and it was you could finish 8th and still go up.
I like the whole playoff thing, but finishing 8th. And
let's finish the season and have another 10 games for you.
My point across it wasn't. It was more obviously you've got the Ealings, you've got the London Scottishers, and Donny Knights, who are all bloody good teams. Have got some absolute units in their front pack. It's more like if you had the Yorkshire Carnegie team or Leeds, that's what they were. If they were to go up against Saracens now, if they were still in the Championship, get an absolute. It would be painful. It's more those bottom level teams who are scrapping. Who, to me, either are going to sustain some injuries, which is literally going to end a lot of their seasons. Yeah. And that's.
I think Sarries being Sarries, they'll be. Mark McCall's clever. He knows what he'll plan that season perfectly for the England boys to come back, and probably might. I was going to say you might get a bit of help from the RFU when they get to play each of the sides, but. We'll see what happens. But
that's the other side of it as well. With the Championship having the fundings cut, a lot of these players, who yes, they are very good players, they're now having to go find work. They're not training full time. That Sarries are still going to be doing.
Yeah, and I don't really know what's going on. But I know obviously furlough's been extended. Yep. So till March. So what does that mean?
One of my clients' sons is at Jersey Reds, and they're still on furlough. They're not allowed to come back until December, and that's they're supposed to be starting to play in bloody January.
But
Sarries are already back. They've not furloughed people, their players, because obviously the England guys are off playing for freaking England this week. But these guys are literally going to have a month's training. It's supposed to start back in January. It's going to be an interesting stuff.
I can't see it happening in January. Is what it is. Anyway, we won't keep you much longer, Rob. We promise, despite all the technical difficulties.
I'm all good.
Nations Cup. Thoughts on that? Who's winning? Who's losing? Who's benefiting? Who's not?
Well, I think if anyone's benefiting, it's probably just the general public, just to get some rugby, I'm quite glad I've got Amazon Prime.
Likewise.
So it works out right. But I think it's been a quiet month since the season finished. Get some rugby in. Looking forward to watching a bit of rugby. Just a chance to see some player. I think Eddie's gone with quite a youthful side for. Are they playing Saturday? Are they?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Chance to blood some young blood and see how it goes. But
I think it's great to see some of these tier 2 nation teams get involved with.
Great! I think it's brilliant. Like Georgia, they deserve their opportunity.
Look forward to their front pack.
I think they might get battered at the weekend, but we'll see how it goes.
I was a bit 50-50 with it, because if you get their front pack going at 4 cylinders, there's not many teams, even England.
Struggle against it just depends on how long they can keep it up for.
Exactly, and it's their
That's the
backline.
I think they're going to benefit. You know, there's always been this chat about them coming up to the Six Nations and Italy getting relegated. So I think they put a good showing for themselves. It will do nothing but wonders. But if they turn up and get battered every week, that could really set them back a few years, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's just. I mean, I think rugby clubs, like local rugby clubs, are a little bit disappointed because we were certainly targeting this to get people into the clubhouse and so on and so on. But hopefully, if everything kind of goes back to the way it was before this lockdown, then it'd be nice to get the clubhouses full. And we had a couple of events on ours, and they worked quite nicely in the rule of 6. So I think generally it's just getting the rugby community back together and hopefully just watching some decent rugby.
Definitely.
Perfect. Well, yeah, on that note, I think we will bid you farewell. Thank you very much for coming on, Rob.
No problem, guys. Anytime. I
appreciate it.
I think it's good that, like, there's obviously there is a few out there, but I think it's really good what you guys doing, just keeping the rugby community going, and it's good. It's good to chat rugby, isn't it, and get other people's stories and everything like that. So, but no,
exactly. I think what sets us a little bit different is we're amateurs.
Yeah,
and don't really. And for me, we see it. Obviously, got Haskell's one. You've got the professionals now doing theirs and things like that. We're just us being us, and we're able to give the shit where it's needed.
And it's. I mean, we get sometimes we get forgotten, don't we, as amateur clubs, and you know, it's like if it wasn't for amateur clubs, we wouldn't have the professional game, would you? So. And we have a different perspective when it comes to professionals. Yeah, it would be nice to get something back, and from and we try. You know, we're quite fortunate. We've got Ted Hill who came through our club, and he's always willing to come back. Obviously not at the moment because he's in that bubble, but he coaches our Colts, which they're very lucky to have him. So it's it is giving something back, and I've always hence why I'm at Malvern is when I was local, I played against them when I was at uni, and then coached them when I was at Gloucester. So it's always somewhere to go back to, and I think what you guys do, you know, it's good to keep that rugby community going, and especially in this time because they're a bit of a rough deal at the moment. The rugby community. So fingers crossed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Not a problem. Not a problem. No, and I'm always happy to do it if you want ever.
Well, tomorrow is Dodgers Bar. Few drinks on Zoom, 7:30. Few drinking games. Get on it.
There we go. I'm in.